crafters, Lisa here from Fun Stuff Crafts. So glad you could join me for another Inspiration Friday. So this week we are going to be working on some patriotic crafts. I've got two fun projects to show you, so I hope you stick around. And hey, if this is your first time stopping by my channel, thanks so much. Make sure you click on the subscribe button and click on that bell, and YouTube should alert you each time I upload a new video. I try to do it every Friday. That's why we call it Inspiration Friday. And hey, if you're one of my faithful followers, thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it, and it really helps support my channel. And if you like this video when it's all done, make sure you give it a thumbs up. That really helps with my channel also. So give me a second. I'm going to get my camera angle changed, and we are going to get making. Started on our first project we're going to be working on today. So it is going to be 4th of July right around the corner, and so I thought it would be fun to work on a few patriotic projects this week. So I found these cute little wood rounds up at Dollar Tree. So I picked up 2 of them, and then I also picked up these really cute napkins. Now I have done a coaster with napkins before, and I will post that blog post for you guys to check it out. This time we are not going to be using ceramic tiles. We are actually going to be using these wood rounds. So lots of fun and lots of different things you can do. So even though these were made to be hangers, we're actually going to turn them into coasters. Okay. So what I like to do first is we're gonna cover these with the napkin like that, okay? And we're gonna do that in a minute, and we're gonna be using some Mod Podge, okay? But what I like to do first is I like to give them a coat of paint. So I am just going to be doing a white paint on them, okay? And so we're just gonna go around the edges. We don't necessarily need to paint in the on the top at all. Doesn't hurt if I get a little bit of paint there, okay? But I'm just going to give it a good paint job. We're going to do that to both of them. And while those sides dry, I will give the other one a paint job, okay? And then I am going to paint the back side of them just so they look nice. Now I'm just using regular Mod Podge because I did not have the dishwasher safe Mod Podge on hand. Using the dishwasher safe Mod Podge really helps if these get wet. And if you're going to be using them for cups, you definitely have moisture from cups. But you can also spray them with a clear coat. And that's what I'm actually going to do this time with these ones, is to give them a good spray of clear coat. Okay, so right now all I'm doing is getting a good paint job all the way around the edge. Okay, looks like I need a little bit more of my white paint, and I am going to go ahead and paint what I would consider the back side of them. Okay, just get those all nice and painted. And this paint does not take long to dry. Okay, so I'm just going to set that one off to the side. And you don't need to do this step, you guys, if you want to leave them natural. I just like to do this, and we are going to kind of distress the edges a little bit with some sanding when we're all done. And that's the other reason why I like to add that coat of white paint. Okay, so I'm going to put these off to the side just for a minute to dry. I'm going to throw my paintbrush in some water, okay? And then what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to start to prep the napkin, okay? So most napkins are 2-ply, okay? This napkin is really nice because it's got the design all the way around. So I could do 4 of these coasters very easily with this napkin. Sometimes when I open up napkins, the design is right here, and there's nothing on the other ones. So this is a real advantage that it has got the design on all four. Now what we want to do is, napkins are usually 2-ply like I said. We want to separate, okay? So we're separating out our napkin. Oops. We've got that part all separated, okay? Probably not dry yet. Nope, not quite dry. So we're gonna give it a minute and I'll come back to you as soon as these guys are dry and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so we're nice and dry. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna flip over our little discs. And I am going to, just to start out with, I'm gonna cut these because I'm gonna use 2 of these. Definitely could pick up 2 more of these wood rounds and I could make a set of 4. It would be really cute. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of decide where I wanna position them. Now there is the little hole here, and I can tell you that the blue is a lot darker than the red. And so I am just going to, I think that's kind of where I want to do it. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm just gonna wet the edge of my napkin with my finger in some water. And this is how I'm gonna tear that napkin, okay? You can definitely cut it out if you want, but I like the look of what this looks like. I'm just gonna dab that around, okay? And then your napkin should just easily start to tear, okay? You can even pick it up if you want, and then you can just pull your napkin straight from it. I'm just going to go around the edges, and I'm not going to make it perfect right now because we're going to take this off and then we are going to add some Mod Podge. Okay, so far so cute. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this one with some Mod Podge. Okay, and I did pick up a thing of some Mod Podge at Hobby Lobby. Excuse me, Dollar Tree. I was at Hobby Lobby too. So I'm going to put a coat on it first. Okay. And put a pretty generous coat, you guys. Okay. Then I'm going to take my napkin again and I'm going to lay it down. Okay. And I'm going to smooth it very delicately. And I like to push out. Okay. Push out so you don't tear it, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some more Mod Podge right over the top. We're not gonna worry about those edges right now, you guys, okay? Turn out so cute. Then I can just go down with the edges with my brush and just pull it down. It looks like our old. How cute. So let's do the second one. Just to go over our steps one more time, show you guys how easy this is to do, okay? So I am going to wet my fingers first. I'm gonna go around the edges. Doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. And you know, you could have painted the edges a blue or a red too. You know, you didn't need to do the white like I did. Or you could have just left it alone, either way. Okay, just like to get it nice and wet so it tears really easy. Okay, and then I'm just gonna pull it down. And if some of those edges stay, that's fine. Okay, get that out of the way. We're gonna pull this one back up. You're really careful not to let it tear. I might have got this one a little bit too wet, but that's okay. Just be careful taking it off. Lay it down. Add your Mod Podge. Mod Podge. Had people comment on me before that I've pronounced that wrong, so I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. Okay, then I'm going to put my napkin back on. And you guys, this doesn't have to be a patriotic napkin. Think of all the pretty napkins that are out there, and what cute coasters this can make. And if you want to learn how to do it on a ceramic tile, I definitely have that link for you too. I just thought these wood rounds were so cute. Okay. Perfect. I'm gonna put a little bit of Mod Podge on it. And we're gonna let these dry. Now in my other video, I showed a method of putting them in the oven to dry them a little bit faster. You can definitely do that. It's just at a low temperature. I'll make sure I put that temperature down below. I'd have to go back and look it up. It's been a while since I've done it. But that is definitely an option to speed up the drying process here. I have had napkins in the past that have the colors have run, and these are just doing great. So these I did pick up at the Dollar Tree, like I said. And there we have it. So once these are dry, I am gonna sand around the edges. So we'll do that as soon as these guys are all dry. Okay, so let's finish up on our little coaster project. So these are all nice and dry, okay? So the next thing I'm gonna do is I am going to give them a quick sand job. And I'm just going to distress them a little bit around the edges. If you guys want to leave the edges of the napkin on, you don't need to do this step. But I just really like to add just a little bit of distress to it. It also cleans up the sides. Okay, so there we are. I'll do the second one. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these outside and I am going to just spray a clear coat on them. And they are gonna be ready to go. As easy as that. So I'll make sure I show you a picture of the clear coat I use. But I'm gonna run outside, put a clear coat on these, and we have got some great patriotic coasters. Okay, so let's get started on our second project. And I picked up these stars at the Dollar Tree, and they were white. They were the tan color. They were just the wood color. And I, just for the sake of time, I've already put a coat of white acrylic paint, and I just used this wicker white from Folk Art, okay? So all I did is give it a quick coat. What we are going to do, I'm gonna do all three the same way, but what we're going to do is we are going to paint some stripes on here and some blue to kind of make it look like a flag. So what I want to do is I'm going to tape off where I want my blue to be. Okay. Now, this is a technique that I am trying to master. So I'm hoping I do this justice as I show you guys how to do this. I have never been able to totally master painting without it bleeding through. So I've been doing a lot of research and I've been watching a lot of things. And this is a method that I have seen used numerous times. So we're gonna try it out. So what I'm doing right now is I'm using my frog tape to make even lines for my stripes, okay? So I'm just gonna take it and put it on here, and then I will remove it, okay? Now this method that I'm using requires that you have a base coat of paint on. So that's why I've got the white paint on there already, okay? So I put the white coat on, and then what we do is we're going to put another coat of white paint on. And the idea is that if anything is gonna bleed through, it'll bleed through the original color. And so we are gonna try this out and see if Lisa can master this method. So I'm excited to try it out. Get one more measured here. Okay, so I've got my tape all on for my stripes, okay? So what the method says to do is to take some of my white paint first and give it an overall paint, okay? So I'm gonna do that, okay? Especially want to get it where my tape is. So I'm basically just painting over the top of my tape. Have to get some more white paint there, Lisa. It's just sucking it up. Okay. And then I'll do more. So I got that coat on like that. I'm gonna go ahead and tape one more and let that dry. It's a pretty thin coat, and so I'm thinking that it's gonna dry pretty quick, and then we will put on the red stripes. And then what I wanna do is I want to, at the top, we're gonna paint it blue. So let's go ahead and just do this process again. A little bit closer so you guys can see. I'm just lining that off there and just trading back and forth. Okay, so we've got, go back to our first one, and it looks like we're pretty well dry there. I'm gonna find a spot on my plate here where I can put some red down. Okay. What I'm gonna do is we are going to paint those stripes. We're gonna see if this method is gonna work for Lisa. I'm gonna be really excited if it does. Opens up all kinds of possibilities. Looks like I might be giving this 2 coats of red, which is perfectly fine. Don't want our stripes to look pink. I'm going to go with that first coat. I'm going to go on to my other ones, and so I can put a second coat on there. now if you're like me and you get anxious and you want to start tearing tape off, let's see, we're gonna go ahead and try one and see how it looks. Okay, so I'm going to take a stripe off. Let's see if this method is gonna work for Lisa. Oh, looks good so far, you guys. Oh, look at that. Okay, see how beautiful those are? Look how straight those lines are. Oh my goodness gracious, you guys. If I can do this, you guys can do it. This is exciting. Woohoo! Look at that. So excited. So what I see here is just a little bit on the edges dripping, so I'm just going to get that cleaned up. Look how good that turned out, you guys. Now we're going to let those dry, because what we want to do is we're going to put our tape back down again so we can get a good, clear, crisp edge for our blue that we want to put at the top. This is the first time I've used the Frogger tape, you guys, and it definitely works really nice. Definitely recommend it. So there's our second one. Go ahead and pull this tape up, and we are going to have 3 beautiful stars. So I may be late to the party in learning this technique, you guys, but if I'm new to it and haven't used it, I'm sure somebody else out there has not seen it either. So I'm hoping that I'm inspiring you guys to try something like this. Just got a little bit of drippage going on. Just gonna clean it up. Okay, you guys, we've got 3 beautiful stars. So we're gonna let these dry, and when we come back, we're gonna tape off and we're gonna paint blue on the top. Okay, so I think they're all dry. One thing I did do while they were drying, you guys, is I went through and just finished off the edges, just so it would be nice and clean. So I did that on each one of them. So what we're gonna do now is, I'm gonna find my driest one, because Lisa's concerned that she's getting too anxious here. What we want to do is we want to tape off. See if I can reuse one of my pieces of tape. Not quite long enough. I guess I could piece them together. What we're gonna do is we're gonna tape off where that red is. I'm gonna try to get it measured right up. Okay, and then I'm gonna paint my blue. And same method here, you guys, is I where those red dots, the red stripes are coming up, if it's gonna bleed, I want it to bleed that color. So I'm just putting a little bit of red there. I know that sounds crazy, but just going with what I had learned how to do this. My paintbrush is a little big, you guys. Okay. It looks funny, I know, but I've just got, see how that is? I'm gonna do that on each one of them. And then as these dry, I'm a little nervous about this one, you guys. Okay, we're gonna cross our fingers that I'm not gonna create a mess. float it, and let's just do that white now. It's got a little bit of white left on my plate, so that's good. And I know this is an extra step, you guys, but if it makes for you to have a crisp line on your signs, it is so cool. Now my inspiration came with someone doing this on a big wood round. But right now, you guys, as most of you probably know, wood is not the easiest thing to come by right now. And those wood rounds, I have not been able to find them at Home Depot. So I really wanted to try out this method, and I thought if it was gonna fail, why not have it fail on Dollar Tree items? But I am so excited that this is turning out, because now I can't wait to do it on a wood round. Got one little red spot left there. Missed that at the end. Okay, so I got that white one done. I got one more white one to do, and then we are gonna add some blue. Okay, my tape is totally sealed with all of my colors, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I've got a clean plate here, and I'm gonna put some of my blue on it. Now the blue I'm going to be using is Indigo Night Blue from Folk Art. It's a really deep, deep blue. I just think it will look so pretty for our flag. Okay, so I've got my big brush again, and I'm going to add that blue on. And this looks like I'm probably going to want to put a couple coats too, which is fine. Get so nervous that this line's going to be good, but can't wait. I mean, my stripes turned out good, so I would guess that this line is going to too. Guess I'm just skeptical. I've had so many fails when I've tried to paint and do crisp lines before. I'd love to hear from you guys if you guys have used this technique before, or if this is something brand new for you too. I don't know if I've been the only one that's just missing out on missing out on this method. Around the edges, and then I'll give it another quick top coat if it needs it. And then we are going to let these dry, and while they're drying, I am going to print out some USA letters, and I am going to use white 651 Oracle vinyl. Come back and do a little touch up there. Looks like I got a little bit of my white that I tried to seal off with. Okay, there we are. What do you guys think? Okay, let's see how these ones look. Ah, beautiful, you guys, beautiful. one that Lisa was a little nervous of. We got a little snafu there. Lessons learned. Make sure it's dry all the way. These ones turned out great. Look at them. So cool. So we're going to let those dry. I'm going to try to touch this guy up a little bit. Got some red over here and some, yeah, it's just the red I really need to clean up. So I'm going to get a little paintbrush. And you'll never know that Lisa got a little anxious. Okay, we're gonna let these all dry. Okay, so my stars are all dry, and I've already went ahead and put one of my letters on. And so I am just using my Cricut, and I went ahead and used Big 10 font, and I've already put them on transfer paper. And so I'm just going to continue adding them on here. And then what we're going to do is we are going to hook these stars all together. So I'm just kind of eyeballing there, not being absolutely perfect when I put it on. And I'm just using my scraper. And now I like to, when I'm taking my transfer tape off, I like to pull from the bottom up. So if I can get a hold of this transfer tape. And you can see that is just pulling off beautifully. Okay, so we've got our second USA. Sorry, it seems like I got a really bad glare. I'm working in my kitchen this afternoon, and my skylight has given us a little bit of glare, so I apologize for that. So we're just going to put the A on, and I've got my heat gun warming up. And I've also got some E6000 glue, because we are going to overlap these stars and kind of make like an arch. So when we do the arch, I'll attach some string, and we will make this for a design for my front door. I can't wait to see how this all comes together. Okay, so we've got our USA. And my thought here is just to overlap them enough to make a little arch like that. Okay, so what I want to do is I am going to put some E6000 on the back here, because that's going to help with really good adherence. But I'm also going to use my glue gun, because I want to make sure that it gets a good contact right away. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of dots here. I like using the combination of the E6000 and the glue gun. I'm going to add a little stick of glue in there too. Okay, go ahead and put these on. Okay, so now I've got my little arch. Turn it around so you guys can see it a little bit better there. See how cute is that? Okay, so now what I want to do is I am going to take just some string that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and my thought is I'm going to use these little holes that were in the star, to use it to hang from my door. And easy as that, you guys, I just created a really cute patriotic door hanger. Now you guys, you don't necessarily need to do this as a patriotic one. You guys can do whatever you would like, but I'm just so happy with how this technique of doing the stripes, and just see how clean those stripes are, you guys. It really turned out nice. So I'm going to give you a close-up view of what it looks like on my front door. And here we have another Inspiration Friday project all done. And here's another close-up view of those stars on the side of my house, or you could use them as a table setting. I've also got those cute coasters with a bottle of wine and a glass there. I hope you enjoyed this week's Inspiration Friday Patriotic Projects. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to check out other DIY projects on my blog at funstuffcrafts.com.